Hey guys, today I wanted to come on and talk to you guys about Maclayne's open adoption. So Maclayne is now just over a year and a half. She's about 20 months. Sorry, I just chased her down and I'm out of breath. She's probably not going to stay here with me to make this video. Okay. Okay, both kids are awake. This is going to be difficult. Are y'all going to go in there and play?
That's my movie.
No, it's just a remote.
Oh,
And Justice, he doesn't need to play with it either. You going to say hey?
no.
No. Okay, don't get the curtain rod. Oh my goodness, I don't know how this is going to go. Y'all go in there and play. So, like I said, Maclayne is just over a little over a year and a half. She's about 20 months old. And, she's crying. Both kids are awake, so bear with me here. But we have an open adoption with her birth mom as well. Have had an open adoption, obviously, you know, since she was born. We were there at the hospital. We got to actually see her C-section. You know, we were in the room, and if you haven't seen it, go watch our adoption birth story vlog for her, because it was a truly amazing experience that I wouldn't trade for the world. But we've had an open adoption with her since birth. We stayed in the hospital with her. We had our own room, and we did go visit some with birth mom in the hospital. Birth dad was not there. Her birth father actually signed her rights before she was born, and so it was just with the birth mom, and we, you know, had visits there in the hospital. No, quit playing with the remotes, please. And had you know, had some visits in the hospital. And because before, when she was pregnant, I got together with her probably at least once a week. For the last couple months of her pregnancy, we would go. Oh, you gonna come talk? Okay, no screaming, no screaming. No, stop. These kids. Throw the remote in there. You can't have the remote. You know, we got together at least once a week, and so I really was kind of nervous to just not cut off contact, but, you know, not having visits as much as we did. But we went, let's see, she was born. I'm sorry. Okay, hopefully I've gotten them occupied and they will be content for a minute. But so the first, I would say 2 to 3 months of her life, we did have probably 4 or 5 little visits. I mean, I call them visits because we saw her and she got to see Maclayne, but they weren't technically we planned it out and got together to visit. It was most of the time because with the insurance, everything, she was on Medicaid because our insurance would not let us add her. Okay, can y'all go back in there? Go, thank you. Our insurance would not let us add her until the adoption was finalized. Okay, I think I have them occupied, so we'll see if I can get this video finished. But so for the first couple, I would say probably 2 or 3 months of her life, we did see her birth mom several times. But it wasn't like a true visit. It was just we had to exchange paperwork. There were issues because she couldn't add on to our insurance. My husband's insurance is crazy, and they wouldn't let us add her. We couldn't add Hudson either until it was finalized. And somebody said we could, but then the person that we talked to, I think a lot of people don't know how adoption works, and they get confused and they don't know what to do. So we kind of kept getting the runaround. So needless to say, we were just waiting till finalization to get her on our insurance because her birth mom did have Medicaid, so she was covered for her first year. So we weren't super stressed about trying to add her because we knew she was covered. But Medicaid, which I feel and Medicaid is what we call it here. I don't know I guess it's called Medicaid everywhere. But it's pregnancy Medicaid. So the birth mom was on it through the pregnancy. It covered her expenses. And then the baby was covered for a year. And it's not just adoption. You have to meet the qualifications, but anybody can get it. Long story short, you probably all know about this. But so she was on that. But they would only send paperwork to birth mom. Because my name, I couldn't talk to them. I couldn't do anything because my name was not on anything. You know, according to them, I have no rights to the child. I can't get anything. But she couldn't change it because the child was not living with her. So we just had this runaround where I couldn't change stuff. I couldn't change the address that everything was coming to because my name was not associated with the account, and she couldn't update any of the information because she didn't have custody of the child. So it was a huge process. So we ended up having to get together several times back and forth because they'd send her one thing, but I had to change it, and, you know, la la la, you know how that kind of stuff goes. So we did see her several times then, but that wasn't, like I said, I don't view that as an official visit. The real visits started probably around 6 months old. And since then, they've kind of correlated with Hudson's visits. It's funny to me because I always let them initiate a visit. I don't ask them if they want to get together. I wait for them to initiate it. And both birth moms tend to go around the same time messaging me, which, I mean, it works out fine, but it's just funny to me that two separate people, they don't know each other, but they always ask, like, within the same week for a visit. So her visits they're usually within a week, 2 weeks apart that we have visits with each birth parent. And we're now down to, like, I would say 2 to 3 a year. It is end of August to 29th. It is August 29th today, and so far this year we've only had one visit with her. We were going to have another one, but her work schedule, she's working nights now, so her schedule is all kinds of crazy. And she's sleeping while we're awake and that kind of thing. So it's been a little bit more difficult now. We're just trying to get adjusted to all of the new schedules. We'll probably have at least one more visit this year. But everything is doing great. She's doing really good. She's got a good job. And it's just one of those things. I'm so glad to see adoption be such a blessing. Not only for us, but for her as well. I do still talk to her probably, I would say, once a month. Once every other month, if not more. And sometimes we'll talk regularly. Sometimes it'll be a month and a half, 2 months between, you know, conversations. We are friends on Facebook and Snapchat, actually. She does. We are following each other on there. And so I do kind of keep up with her, see kind of what's going on. I don't know that she really looks at any of the stuff I post. She doesn't usually say anything about it if she does, and I usually will send her pictures when I do talk to her. I usually start out just talking to her, seeing how she's doing, how things are going, and then I'll ask her, do you want pictures? And she always has said yes, but I just like to ask just in case. And we usually converse over Facebook Messenger. She does have a phone, but it's not always reliable, so most of the time we do talk just over Facebook Messenger. And I'm trying to think, because a lot of this is just for my record as much as anything else, sharing with you the experience. And if you saw the video I posted, I think it was last week, 2 weeks ago, about Hudson's open adoption, a lot of things are actually similar between them. And I guess we have an influence in a lot of it, but a lot of it is just kind of what the birth mom is comfortable with. So I don't know if we just have two similar birth moms or if this is kind of like a norm for other people. I would love to hear kind of what your normal is. Leave it in the description box if you have an leave a comment if you have an open adoption and kind of like what your schedule is like, how often you visit and things like that. Well, not right now. Go watch Mickey Mouse, please. But I'm trying to think if there's anything else. And if there's anything that you think I've missed, go watch the one for Hudson because I might have included it there. It's just a lot of it is really similar. We do, like I said, their visits usually coincide within a week, 2 weeks of each other. And yeah, so she's 1.5 now. Everything's going good. We might actually start including birth father visits soon for her. He's never met her. She's almost 2. We've only met him once. He's not met her. So I'm kind of nervously excited about the possibility of starting those up. You know, and kind of just, and I do these videos to share, to give people an insight as to what open adoption looks like. I don't want to share too much personal information for, you know, Maclayne's adoption story or anything like that. This just kind of basics to give you an idea of what open adoption can look like. But we don't have any visits with Hudson's birth father. We do talk to him occasionally. He's doing good. He'll see pictures. He follows me on social media, so he sees pictures there. But we've not had a visit with him in a year and a half. I guess maybe 2 years now, yeah, because I think he was like 9 months old at our last visit. And so we haven't seen him in a while. We did run into him one time out to eat, but that's just kind of how he wanted the relationship. He wants to keep track of him, and maybe he says that he wants him to be old enough to decide that he wants to know him and have a relationship with him, which I completely respect and I understand. I know this is a hard thing for everybody involved, so that's what he wants. That's what we do for Hudson. For Maclayne's birth father, I'm not sure exactly where he stands on it. There was talk about a year ago, maybe a little less than, of him wanting to meet her, and just kind of been waiting. We haven't heard any more since then, and I don't want to ask. I don't want to touch any sensitive subjects, so we'll kind of just sit back and wait. We are open to it if he wants to meet her and have any kind of visits and relationship there, but right now it's just with her birth mom. And everything is, I mean, I couldn't ask for things to be better. We're so blessed. I'm so glad that we're able to have an open adoption and that I can have a good relationship with her birth mom and keep track of her, just to see the amazing things that she's done in this life. And I'm trying to think of other things. I feel like there's probably a ton that I'm leaving out, but that's just kind of a glimpse into Maclayne's open adoption. I feel like I've rambled enough, so give it a thumbs up if you like this video and if you have an open adoption, and I'd love to hear more in the comments about what your open adoption looks like. But thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye. Say bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
You wave bye-bye?
Bye-bye.
You blow them a kiss? Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye.